Welcome back to the Infinite Endurance Podcast. I'm your host, Philip J. Sebastiani, and on today's episode, I have the 2025 Women's Big Texas Ultra 100K champion, Nadine Forest. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. Doing pretty good.
It is now just 2 days after the championship. Thank you so much for coming on so quickly, and really, let's just dive right into it. I want to hear kind of you getting to the race and that first kind of 6 mile section, like starting line vibes, all of that stuff.
Yeah, let's see. So from the very beginning, I actually made some rookie mistakes. So, just getting to the race, I was trying to save my legs, trying to reduce the number of trips to the car. So I kind of packed everything in one bag. I put my water bottles, my shoes together. Um, one of the water bottles just ended up leaking through, so I had wet shoes starting the race. But that won't happen again because we got these silo bags. Pretty
Yeah.
excited about.
Silo bags. Shout out to Silo.
Yeah. So yeah, that I tried to not let that shake me. I wear Hoka speed goats and they tend to dry pretty quickly. So yeah, within the first couple miles, they dried up and my feet were fine. I pre-taped them where I'd get some hot spots or blisters usually, and that worked. But yeah, I was definitely pretty nervous going in. You know, it's when it's your A race, get all the jitters and the feelings, but it's fun. It's what keeps us going. Um, and yeah, going in, I wanted to make sure that I didn't go out too fast. Didn't want to crash and burn, so I just kind of put my horse blinders on and just focus. Kind of took it as just another training run. Just run your own race. And yeah, it was pretty steady those first 6 miles. And
Yeah.
and I also loved it. It was probably the prettiest section. Going through that cave, and it was like a narrow, overgrown section, but you had all these rocks overlooking and the river next to it. It was beautiful.
Yeah. For
I really enjoyed
listeners,
that.
this race is kind of in two venues Flat Creek Crossing Ranch and the neighboring state park, Pernell Falls. And so this first part is through the ranch. And, really when I showed up there, you know, even though it's like a race, championship race, since the field was so small, you could still feel this kind of like no one's really talking to anyone. No one's really looking at anyone. Everyone's so spread out. Like nobody's by the start finish line. And it was just like, oh, these people are ready to go fight. They're ready to go to hell and back. And as the race started, you headed down that little hill, and I was down there and I took a video, and it looked really controlled. I was surprised. I thought it was gonna come out super fast. So and I saw you just tucked behind the lead pack, and I knew that's where you were gonna go, and I knew that's where you were gonna thrive, and I was like so excited for you. Um, but so you get to that turnaround, and also one of the reels I got, it was like it had to be like less than 10 seconds. You and Chris, like I talked with Chris all day. I was like, I thought me and my wife had good transitions, but you two like make me and my wife look slow, and it's just so impressive. And I've tried so hard to dial it down, and I just love every time it's still like hug and kiss, and then we go, and I just love that. And kind of talk
Yeah.
about that first out and back. You finally get to see them coming back towards you.
Mm.
How does that kind of feel? Is it still too early for anything to go on? I know your game plan was way late, but kind of those talk
Yeah,
about
I
that.
still didn't want to let Alex like get too far ahead where she wouldn't be catchable, you know. So I still kind of wanted to keep a manageable gap if possible, but also I didn't want a red line or anything either. So whatever happens, happens. But yeah, it was the out and backs were interesting because then you could kind of do some mental math. Okay, I'm about half a mile behind, or 6, 7 minutes behind. So that kind of helped strategy wise for sure. And then, of course, getting updates whenever we hit the frequent aid stations.
Yeah, and also, I don't want to forget about Maria real quick because really you were battling before you got to get to Alex. You kind of had to get over
Hmm.
Maria, and
True.
that
Yeah.
was a
Mhm.
lot of back and forth. It was like you two were minutes within minutes of each other, probably through mile 40. I don't know until you finally passed her. I have to go back and check. Did you all ever talk or say anything or any exchanges with any of the women on the podium?
So, yeah, we did. So when I finally caught up to her, well, when I first got her sight, it was that long, section going south on that, horse
Okay.
loop in Pedernales Park, and you could see, like, probably a mile ahead of you because it's just kind of a gradual hill going up. So, I would see when she would pass, like, a red marker, I'd start counting, like, "Okay, how many
How
how
many
much time
seconds?
am I behind her?" But we seemed to be going at the same pace, so I could tell, like, she was actually speeding up, and I was like, "Well, this is uphill, you gotta choose your own battles," and, there was still a lot of race left at that point. I'm trying to think. I think that was on the first loop coming back, so it's probably mile gosh, probably in the 20 to 25 miles, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't want to start chasing her just yet. But when I eventually did at mile 37, that was I think we were just about to end the second loop, the first 6 mile inner
Yes,
loop.
the yeah.
So I caught her. I was like, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you good?" And I kind of I hope I pepped her up. I was like, "Let's go catch Alex," and just kind of tried to fire us both. And then I yeah did the pass and kind of hung on.
Yeah, yeah, we'll back up a little bit here because I know I really wanna
Yeah.
unpack this kinda last 20 miles from your perspective because it was so fun to watch. So, all day, just smiles from you, and it was just so great, and Rhino told me whenever because he kinda went out and would run with you a little bit and that, and you're just talking, chatting, he could tell you had everything under control. Is that what how it really was going on the inside through those first 40 miles?
I would say yes. I've kind of tried to kind of visualize how things were going to go, and things were going exactly how I pictured them. So that definitely felt good, and just being out there and enjoying the nature and the trail, yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, so you basically go through, you split 50K in about 5:20.
520,
No, we
yeah.
saw so at that point, you're roughly 20 minutes off of Alex, but
Mhm.
still sorry, still 31 miles to go, in the race, and I think when I got that transition, a video of your transition there, you were still like, 10 more miles or something, right? Before we really start pushing,
Yeah.
and
And at that point, yeah, I was getting so excited, kind of nervous at the same time because, yeah, obviously my legs were starting to feel pretty tired, but I still had some excitement. Like, finally, it's almost time to hit go,
yeah, I
hit the
called it
gas pedal.
let the animal out of the cage. I hope I
Yes.
didn't offend you with that personification of it. But so you get to that point when you're like, okay, now it's time to go. It's time to show them what I got. Where exactly did that start?
Yeah, so on the first loop, I saw that I don't remember the exact mileage. I think it's mile 9 where you get that really big hill. It's almost
Okay.
like the Crossbar Ranch.
Mhm.
That's what it reminded me of. And I figured that's going to be around mile 40 on the second loop. So I think after that big hill, that's when I'll push. So I kind of had that plan in motion. So that's when I took. If you want to talk about fueling, that's where I took my caffeine and yeah, hit the
Two, as we
gas.
call 200 calf. That's when you took
Yep,
the the
the
200
nootropic
calf
gel,
cis gel. So
the
then you get
rocket
to that
fuel.
next aid station and you've passed Maria, I think, at that point?
Yeah, so it was a little bit before actually mile
Okay,
37. So yeah, we had just finished
that's right.
that
Okay.
first inner loop and then started the second. So I didn't really start hitting the gas when I passed her, but
So then you pull up to we're calling it the Pickle Juice Lone Star aid station here.
mhm,
Uh, and there you're really close, to the front. And again, another flawless transition from you and Chris. And you just go and run. And where did that pass happen in that back? Because it's kind of like it's about a 9 mile loop through the back, right? Till you hit that pickle
about
juice
eight.
aid
Yeah.
station again. 8 miles.
Hmm.
Okay. And when I saw you at the water stop, the pass would, like, already been made, but talk about to that point.
Yeah, so when I looked at my watch, when I made that pass, we still had about 12 miles to go, so it would have been mile 50, I think.
And there was nothing, like, extravagant about it, nothing really happening, you just saw it was going. Was it a
Well,
burn a
I
match
was
go?
kind
Like,
of
how did
like I passed her way earlier than I thought, so at first my heart kind of broke because I could tell she was starting to struggle, and I just really felt for her. So yeah, I asked her like, "Is everything good?" I was ready to like pass gels if she needed some more fuel, but um, yeah, I made that pass, and I thought, well, there's still 12 miles. She might bounce back. So I just kind of put my head down and continued
kept
the
going?
grind.
And I
Yeah.
got this beautiful video of you passing Nick in the water stop on the last loop with 10
I
miles to go.
saw that and I was so tunnel vision at that point, I didn't even notice him. I had no idea I had moved into first.
He gave the look like he looked back. He was kinda like, "What?" And when I interviewed him for his post race, he was like, he didn't even, like, know you were pressing hard, charging hard like this. Like, he was actually really worried about Alex coming back. So you
Right.
really snuck up on him, and you
Mhm.
held him off all the way back to that pickle juice aid station again. That
Yeah, and, Rhino was right. He passed me exactly with, 3 miles to go, and I guess Chris also told me, "Hey, you're first overall," but to me, I just heard first female. It's like, I
mhm,
know. I'll just,
yeah.
keep chugging along. I had no idea I was first overall. But it is what it is. What if, could have, yeah. I can't go back and redo anything. And then, yeah, he also mentioned, well, I had texted Chris, like, it felt like my toenail popped off. That's kind of what
Oh,
it felt
dang
like,
it.
but it's still hanging on there somehow, hanging on for dear life. Um, but yeah, I had some pain in those last 3 miles, and, um, that's where Nate passed me again. I figured I'll try to, hang on to him and maybe, like, do a sprint finish, but he charged. He wanted it.
Yeah, so really, w the difference I'm hearing between your races and Nick's race is your hydration, nutrition is so dialed in because of all the experience you brought to the race. And, one
Mm.
thing I mentioned in Nicholas's race is, it speaks to his potential, right? But talk about your strategy behind hydration, fueling, all that.
Yeah, so kind of like I mentioned in the pre-race show, I had a lot of, issues last year at Big Texas 2024, where I didn't really practice nutrition. I had the nutrition, but my body I just kept getting nauseous very often and couldn't keep anything. Well, I was keeping things down, but that backfired because then I stopped taking in nutrition. I was just too nauseous and ended up getting a little bit of mild rhabdo. So definitely learned from that experience. So in my training, I was taking 80 to 90 grams of carbs per hour, and pretty much ate everything like solid food, candy, everything in between, gels.
Was it Nerds
Um,
Clusters?
no, unfortunately, they have gelatin, so they're not plant
Oh,
based. But they're like the Shack gummies, and they
okay.
come in sneaker shapes. It's like a
Oh,
perfect
Shaq, like
running
the
feel.
basketball player?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
they just happen to be accidentally vegan, so
There you
they've been
go. That's
great.
a crossover we all want to hear about. Shaq, you're doing a good thing here. You're
Yeah,
making
so
yours.
I had them in my, backup gel pack. Um, but yeah, those were great, and unfortunately, I still got nauseous on the course, but instead of kind of trying to keep it in, I just let it out. Sorry, TMI, but
Rhino told
kind
me
of
about that. Do you
yeah, and
mind
it
sharing
happened
that? Where that
short.
happened? And let's hear that story. Paint us the picture.
Yeah, so it happened at around mile 17, which was pretty early on. I was shocked that, I was starting to reject some of the gels, so, yeah, I just kinda let it out, and I knew at that point I kind of had, planned out when I would take the handheld, bottle. That's how I started with the handheld, not the vest. But I knew at that point, like, I cannot get behind on fuel and hydration because the sun's gonna come out, it's gonna be hot. Um, I definitely wanna keep I didn't wanna get behind on hydration, so I kinda took quickly, at the next aid station. whatever that was, I told Chris, "Okay, here on out, vest." And I had printed in some, spreadsheets and notes, so he knew exactly what to do when I told him
And
vest.
he showed me those spreadsheets, and I was like, Nadine has the fancy glossy paper that's like not the cheap printer stuff. Like she means business. And I was reading through some of those, and you definitely brought this elite mindset to this championship race. And it was just amazing to see because that's the type of preparation that we would we'd expect for it, and you brought it and you executed it. Even with the speed bump having to purge, you you rallied hard, and
Mhm.
it's just amazing to see.
And yeah, I did get sick again later on when the heat kicked in and everything, so I did have to walk a little more than I wanted to just to let the stomach settle after I would take, some gels or Tailwind. Um, but yeah, just puked and rallied, and I immediately felt better, so it worked.
Yeah. Do you mind talking about your vest? And
Mm.
for those who are listening, Big League Move Again by Nadine. 2 vests. She just drops one, puts on the new one.
So I learned that I think it was from Western States live streams, and I wish I remembered which runner did that, but they had filmed him his aid station
Mhm.
exchange, and it was just vest exchange. I was
Yes.
like, I need that.
Mhm.
So I pretty much instantly ordered a second vest and started practicing that. Yeah, it saves so much time rather than like having to remove the bottles and then try and fit them
Yes.
back in. So just, yeah, having it
And
prepared
then in a
by
way, you have to have 2 of
crew.
everything, and who doesn't want more ultra running specific gear?
That's true.
But okay, we're bouncing around a little bit, which, I don't mind at all, but let's hear this story, 3 miles to go. Let's
Mm.
bring us in.
Yeah, so again, I started to feel some pretty nasty pain in my foot. It was almost kind of like the nail bed was raw a little bit. So I could feel every time I would put my step down. And so I was just hoping for the best, like, please don't trip on a rock, don't stub your toe. So I was
Mhm.
very cautious with where I stepped. And it was one of the most technical section as well. So I just hung on and um, yeah, I just wanna shout out to Maria because, oh my god, she wasn't far behind from me, and that's also I tried to gaslight myself. I didn't know how far behind everyone else was, but I just told myself, "They're right at your heels, just keep going, keep going."
The competitive pressure always brings the best out of everyone, so it's great to
For sure.
see, like, Maria could have totally packed it in, but she didn't.
She
She
could've,
pressed
yeah.
hard.
It
You
could've
pressed hard,
been
you had the
anybody's
pressure of, like,
races.
"Let's beat Nick," right? "Let's beat the boys," as Alex would say,
Yeah.
and, it's just great. So I picked you up with, like, man, what was it, like a tenth of a mile to go? Maybe, and you
Yeah.
just full on we were going sub 6 pace. You were kicking, and I was like, my ankle hurts, but I gotta do it." Like, and you literally, like, you kept just moving hard, and it was so great to see how much you had left because you timed it perfectly, which is, in a way, like, what ultra running is. It's this patience, and then
Mhm.
when it's time, it's time. You burn the match as you go, and I just saw you so strong to the finish, threw your arms up, and it was amazing, amazing to see again.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really also want to give a shout out to Amy Nichols. I hope you'll have a chance to interview her sometime about the Cowboy
We
200.
need to.
She raced, I think, last month, end of September, and I got the opportunity to pace her for 40 miles. And it was probably, for me, it was a training run, and it's probably where I learned the most because for her it was mile between mile 104 and 144. Yeah, she's insane. But she was doing run walk intervals
Mhm.
and she had trained power walking with after 30 miles of doing that, like my walking muscles were so sore. I had to run next to her to keep up with her walking. It was insane. And um, when I finished the 40 miles, I was just so shocked how my legs still felt fresh.
Yeah.
So just yeah, incorporating the walking and just, you know, not running all out, not redlining yourself. It's being patient. It's so valuable. So I ended up incorporating a little bit of hiking in my training as well. So I was able to hopefully shave off some minutes, just like throwing the hands,
Yeah,
power hiking those hills. But yeah, huge shout out.
yeah. Amy Nichols is a beast. So much respect for her. Um, Also a member of the Texas Outlaw Elite uh, for this coming season. So are you, Nadine, and we're so glad to welcome you. And then this was really your first race as a member of the
Yeah, it
elite
was.
team. And I saw you in the Texas Outlaw running shirt, and I was like, oh, we need to get her kit already. So don't worry, the kit is coming. I'm working on it. But back here to the race, and I posed this question to Nicholas. I want to hear, in your opinion, the toughest part of the course.
Ooh, it was probably the very most northern section for me, where you were by the Pedernales Falls. There's just these big rocks, and going over them, especially on the second loop, I kind of had a cramp
Oh no,
in my inner thigh, like those. Yeah, oh, it's like almost paralyzing for a minute. So took some salt there. I was like, oh crap, I might be falling behind on electrolytes, but.
emergency
Um,
salt. We all carry some, right?
Absolutely. But yeah, that section had a lot of bigger rocks and just a little bit more terrain to navigate around, but
I think that might have been Nicholas's section. He kept calling it the Juniper Ridge or section. I don't,
mm. Oh, was
or
that
is that different?
the last 3 miles, I think,
Oh, is that the
was
last
that
3 miles?
Juniper
Okay.
Trail? Yeah, that would be, yeah, th probably a tie for me or close second. That one
I
section
tried
coming
biking
back.
backwards on the course at the beginning. Like, oh, I'm gonna
Oh
get
my
them
god.
footage here, and I was like, this is a dumb idea. I did not bring the proper bike, and I'm not in mountain bike shape, and I'm gonna fall on my face. So after that, I changed my whole strategy of how I was gonna capture the race, and it turned out way better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, there were some I saw one biker out there and yeah, I was like, "I don't know how you can do this. I would die." And I was thinking to myself, even though like I was 30 miles in, I'd still rather run than ride a bike on those trails. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, so Nadine, I know you listened to the show. You've reshared and you've commented, and thank you for that. And so then you've heard the rumor about the F1, 2, and 3 for next year.
Oh,
Did you hear that?
I did. Yeah.
Yes, we will continue to talk in Bristen's ear about it. But the creation of F1, 2, 3, and M1, 2, 3 means the podium essentially gets invited back the next year. So you don't have to qualify for next year's race. Is that something you're
Yeah.
interested in? Is it too late?
Too early.
Too early, sorry. Too early
Too
to
early. Yeah. Still
decide.
traumatized a bit, but I'm
Hey,
sure give it a
it
couple
might
more
be back
days.
at Georgetown. So you
That's
could
true.
see
Yeah. I
your
still
time.
need
Actually,
to
let's compare the two courses. Kinda break it down for us. You're the only one that's run on both. You and Alex are the only ones that run on both.
That's true. Yeah, Alex and I talked a little bit about that, and I have found them pretty similar. I think it's mainly because there wasn't that paved section. I might rate Johnson City a little harder. Yeah.
Nice. And you destroyed it PR. That was overall your overall 100K PR, right?
It was, yeah. So I'm really excited how much time I can shave off the regular course now, but yeah. I need some extra extra days to recover before I think about it.
Yes. And the coolest part, you're $1,500 richer, or maybe broke even because you had to travel from Oklahoma. Who knows? Right. You got a trophy, you got a nice golden belt buckle. You know, kinda if I'm a runner who's interested in doing this race in the future or this series, what's some of the advice you'd give? Like you've put 2 years of your running career towards it.
Mm. That's very true. Hitting me with the deep questions again.
I'm sorry. The
That's
people want
okay.
to know.
Yeah, so when I started in 2024, my goal was to do 100K, and I chose North Texas first. I kind of read um, look like a good one as the first 100K. It's pretty flat. It's in the winter, like in February, so you're not dealing with so much elements. So I think it's a great one to start with. And then, of course, being your first 100K, nothing goes to plans. You learn a lot. And I feel like even the race over the weekend, I still learned things that I wanna apply for the next one, so, yeah, if that drives you, go for it, like, um, yeah, just learning oh, sorry. Yeah, just learning how to, do better, and when you see the results, it's just so rewarding.
Yes, that was the first race I met you at, and I just loved your vibe. So I knew, like, 80 by then at that moment, I knew you were awesome. Then I saw you at West Texas, and I was like, "Nadine's badass." So,
Well, thanks.
amazing. Glad I got to chat with you too after the race, you and Chris a little bit, and, hear some things, more learn more about you and Chris, so grateful for all of that, and guess you'll have to let me know if you decide to come back next year. Some
I
things to
will, yeah.
entice you. Coverage is gonna be better. I want to do an elite athlete panel the night before. I want to convince Briston and Asher to do an award ceremony actually the next morning, so it's not the middle of the night trying to take pictures of the podium.
I was gonna
And
say that the coverage this weekend was, like, Air Vipa level, it was amazing.
my ankle thanks you. Yeah. It's still kind of funny I didn't walk today. I'm still walking kind of funny, but um, it was just thank you for that. And I was just like, really, my motivating factor was races like this should have coverage. There's no excuse. And the whole day I was joking around is I only have an iPhone 14. Like, and everyone, they have thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment, and it's really not that hard to do, and
Mhm.
it's really easy to cut videos
It's
today.
a
It
lot of
makes it so
work,
easy.
but, man,
Yeah,
you
I'm
nailed
buying
it.
Starlink because it was impossible to upload, like yeah, I think I told you this after the race. The
Yeah,
storyline
the
got jumbled
coverage
up
was
because
mhm.
there was no service at the Pickle Juice aid station, but
Yeah, it was pretty spotty out there, but yeah, and my whole family is pretty much from Canada, so they were kind of able to, get a glimpse and catch some of the action, and they're so thankful.
yes, well, Nadine, so impressed with your performance. Thank you again for coming on the show just 2 days after you literally ran your guts out. You ran so hard to the finish line, and you just fell over in just this happiness of winning the race, having your mindset on a goal and accomplishing it. That's just very, very inspiring. So, I look
Well, thanks for
forward to what
having
you do
me.
next. What are you gonna do next?
So, I'm signed up for Wichita Switchbacks 50K. I usually do the 25K, but I really want to do the 50K this year, so excited for that.
50K.
But gonna fully recover and take a week off first, and then we'll
So
probably
there's
jump back in a little
switchbacks
bit
in
of
the
training.
name. That
Hmm.
means there's a lot of switchbacks in the race.
Yep, yeah, it's kind of a
Uh,
mountainous race in the
oh, cool.
Arkansas area.
Good way to start the year.
Mm.
Congratulations again. Thank you for those that tuned in. Thank you, Nadine, the 2025 Big Texas Ultra 100K Championship champion. There's got to be a way to shorten all that. I'll figure it out. But thank you again and congratulations, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for everything.